Shemirat Eyinaim Habura, class 2. Alright, there's a fascinating Gemara in Masechet Kidushin, Daf Pei Aleph, Amud Aleph, and it brings a series of stories to show the power of yetzer hara. Talks about the first story is in a series. It's about Rav Amra Hasida. Notice that the title. He has the title Rav, right, like a rabbi, and Hasida. Not a very common title in Torah Gemara. Right? I don't think it means that he was wearing shtrimal or learning Tanya, but he was a Hasida. He was an extra careful Jew, an extra pious Jew. And the following story happened. There were certain captive women who were brought. They were freed by the Jewish community, probably paid the ransom, and they were freed and brought into the house to Nahardor, into the house of Rav Amra Hasida. And Ashkula Darga Mikamahu. He put them on the upper floor, and they removed a letter from that floor that he shouldn't have a yichud with them. He shouldn't be secluded with these women. Now, the whole context of Gemara is talking about yichud, how many women a man is allowed to stay with. It doesn't talk about kshirim, or it talks about talmidei chachamim. It talks about different cases. This is an example of one when the person, Rav Amram Hasida, he didn't want to be together with these women alone, so they removed the ladder, so he shouldn't have access to the second floor. Now, one of these women he saw, and the way at least Ben Yehoyada explains it, that when he saw this girl, she was so beautiful that as if a sunlight filled the room. That's how he perceived her beauty. So he saw this extraordinary woman, this really beautiful girl. Shaklai Rav Amra ledarga delo havi yecholin be'asra lemidalai. He took the letter, which 10 people could barely carry together. He took it by himself. Imagine how heavy it has to be. It's like I guess as heavy maybe as a car. How many people it takes to push the car or to lift it up? It's a really heavy letter. He took it by himself. That's how passionate he became, and that's how strong his desire was, and he schlepped it by himself. When he starts climbing this ladder, he, at least according the way Rishonim explained this phrase, that he spread his legs on the ladder to slow himself down. He realized that he's losing control. This is it. He's about to get up there, and he's losing himself. So first thing, he spreads his legs. He's trying to slow himself down. Ramakala, he raises his voice and he starts screaming, "Nura be Amram!" There's a fire in Amram's house. He really starts screaming. Again, Maharsha explained that there was a Beit Midrash nearby, and Atura Banan, all the rabbis come, all the Rosh Yeshivot come, the Bachurim, the students of the Kollel. Everybody wants to help to put out the fire of Rav Amram. It's their fellow rabbi. They don't want to leave him alone. And they come and they become really disappointed. Amrulei kisiftinan, you have embarrassed us. What is this here? You climbing after girls and you're screaming there's a fire. What are you doing? Come on, man! This is gonna be all over the news tomorrow. Imagine the front page of New York Times or Wall Street Journal. A rabbi is trying to have relations with the recently elaborated girls, that he's hosting in his house. What are you doing? It's better I embarrass you guys in this world rather than I do aveira v'lo tichsefu minei le'ol medate. And in the next world to come, you'll come there and you'll find out that I wasn't as righteous as I pretended to be. So that's not the end of the story. Now, after this whole thing was over, he made the yetzer hara swear he did something that the yetzer hara should leave him. Nafek minai ki amuda denura. The yetzer hara left him, and it looked like a pillar of fire. And so he has this conversation with yetzer hara. Hazei de'ad nura v'ana bisra. You are fire, and I am flesh. I'm just flesh and blood. Right? And I'm better than you. And when you have a fire and you have when you put a burger on the fire, what happens to the burger? The burger doesn't put out the fire. The fire burns the burger, right? It roasts it until it burns it completely. But he's saying, in our case, you're the fire and I'm the meat. I'm a bisra, right? Vana bisra. It's like, and I won. And in our case, he's saying, I took you out. Like, he. So now it's a fascinating story. It's a fascinating story. I don't want to mention any names to trigger your imagination, but imagine any Rosh Yeshiva in Wayu, this would happen to him. Just for a second, saying that he starts screaming fire, and then you come and he's saying, "Oh, I had this passion for this girl, and I almost lost my control." It's a really mind-boggling story. It's a crazy story. We're talking about Tanaim, Amoraim. We're saying there are another two stories right after this about Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Akiva, who also has a similar story, how they almost lost control. And we'll talk, maybe in the future, Shurim we'll do the other two stories. It's really amazing. But what we learn from this story of Rav Amra Hasida, is that number one, when a person feels he's losing control, he has to do something extreme, right? Let's take a practical scenario. Let's say a person is sitting in his room by himself, and he has this passion, he has this desire, he wants to see something he's not supposed to see. So, what is he going to do? So one thing he can do is lock himself out. Just leave the room and lock it. Okay, now he has to go to security guard, have to get the keys and say, hey, I'm locked out, or call his roommate or something, But we'll give him half an hour, 20 minutes until he cools off. That might be not as extreme as embarrassing yourself. You're not going to, start screaming in the middle of the dorm, hey, I'm about to watch something, please come help me, That's really embarrassing. If a person can do that, maybe, I don't know if it's better or not. But, if we're in the street, and those of us who are lucky to wear glasses, you can just take off your glasses. Like, if you feel like you can control your eyes. There's always something we can do to sort of slow our desire, slow our passion, and give us the space in which we can cool off. Now, there's an amazing Maharsha there. He's talking about this Gemara. He's talking about, wait a second, Rav Amra is screaming there's fire in his house. So is he lying? What is he saying? So he's saying, Aval hu vaday nitkaven al nura de yetzer hara. When he was screaming fire, he didn't mean like the fire in the house. He meant like the fire that is driving him to the second floor. The fire that driving him to fulfill his desires. He say, God forbid you should think that he's lying to anybody. He wasn't lying. He meant that the fire of yetzer hara. Now, it's really interesting here in the end of this Maharsha. He says something really, I don't know the context, but he's saying, this famous king Ahav and his wife Ezivel, saying that Ahav was really a cold person, meaning he wasn't really a passionate person. He wasn't really a person. He was a cold person. He was calm, right? So what did she do to hit him up? Mishum de Ahav ish metzonen haya ve'asata lo Ezivel tzorot zonot lechamemo. You know what she did? She made images of prostitutes to warm him up. Sort of every time he looked at them, he became excited, and she woke up his yetzer hara. He became consumed by the fire of yetzer hara, like we saw by Rav Amra Hasida, who was screaming fire. The fire of yetzer hara was awoken by Ezivel in Ahav by placing those images of these women. And this is a fascinating Maharsha, really, that it's not just once we wake up the fire, it leads us to do other things, right? The person he watches, he's not careful about his eyes, he sees things he's not supposed to see. Now he has no desire to learn. He has no desire to go daven. He has no desire to put on tefillin. Why? Because the fire of yetzer hara have been ignited in him. This is I think this was Maharsha is saying that Ezivel she placed those images to ignite Ahav. Now, this is an unbelievable story of Rav Amra Hasida. Ben Yehoyada says also this is it's really min hashamayim that the tzaddik like this, they allowed him to be in such an embarrassing situation to teach everybody else that, even tzaddikim gurim, even really righteous people, they should be cautious about about the yetzer hara till the end of their lives. Like, do not. There's a phrase in Pirkei Avot, do not trust yourself, sort of. Do not expose yourself to the yetzer hara until the day you die. Right? Don't trust yourself until the day you die. Meaning, don't place yourself. Don't feel too confident that I'm tzaddik. It's not really my yetzer hara. Like, I can handle it. Saying, listen, even Rav Amra Hasida and other tzaddikim, they were exposed to yetzer hara of arayot. Don't play games with that. Oh, all right. So let's. We're using, as we said, the book on Shemirat Eyinaim, amazing book. English. It's an English book. It's called Windows of the Soul. All right. So we did day 1 last time. We're gonna do day 2. Okay, so now he's saying something really interesting. He's saying, what are the laws of Shemirat Eyinaim? What are they for? It's really Hashem gave them for our own benefit. Right? When I remember when I came I met a certain rabbi. He's a pretty famous rabbi within Russian-speaking community. Who he's an expert in family issues. Like he does a lot of lecturing on Shalom Bayit, etc. And dating. So I came to him before I got married, and we had this sort of chosn shmuz, and he told me, "Don't bring other girls into your bedroom." I was like, "Rabbi, what are you crazy? My wife is gonna kill me. What do you mean?" And then I got it what he meant. What he meant is actually before halacha in Rambam. This last halacha on the page. He said, "V'chen asru chachamim." It's from Isurei Bia, perek kaf aleph, halacha yud bet. A person is not allowed to have relations with his wife, and he's thinking about another woman. Right? That's what he meant. He's saying when you have relations with your wife, there should be no other women in the bedroom. Meaning, don't think about anybody else. That's what that's what he meant. And part of Shemirat Eyinaim, this is when we learn to control our eyes and not to look at things and images and women who we're not supposed to look at. Like we really guaranteeing ourselves a healthy marriage, right? When you have a wife, God willing, all the single guys should get married soon, to the right time, to good girls, and you should all have healthy marriages in the zchut of this Habura, of course. And part of Shemirat Eyinaim is that when you're not thinking about other women, because why? You don't look at other women. You're not going to think about them. You only want what you see. Right? You can't want what you never saw. So, but if you don't look at the others, then you're enjoying your wife to 100% because you're not thinking about other women. That's part of the Shemirat Eyinaim, or the benefits of having Shemirat Eyinaim. Right now we said last time where's the source in the Torah in Shemirat Eyinaim? You guys know? Anybody wants to take a guess? Huh? Yeah, Wolot Aturu. Right, don't go. We say that. In fact, we say it twice a day, every day. That's how important it is, right? In the Shema. So don't go after your eyes. Now, so that's really foundation of a healthy family. We don't look at other women. We concentrate on our wives and enjoy each other's relationship and each other's company. And now, by Goyim, they don't really have this moral standards. They watch whatever they want to watch, and then they discuss it, and they pride. Hey, I got this new video. You want to check it out? For us, it's not our standard. We're Jewish people. We're holy people. We're supposed to have a holy standard. So we don't want to watch things that we're not supposed to watch, and especially we don't brag about it, and we don't share it with our friends, and we don't do this stuff. And if we do, we work on ourselves not to do it. Now he's saying in Hilchot Teshuva, he brings this Rambam. What does the Rambam say? There are 5 things that a person. It's in Hilchot Teshuva perek dalid halacha dalid. There are 5 things. Mehen chamisha dvarim haosin otan ein hiskato leshuv mehen. His person who does them, he's not likely to do tshuva. What are they? Why? First of all, why? לפי שהם דברים קלים בעיני רוב האדם. Because most people don't take it seriously. They say, okay, come on, give me a break. I'm eating kosher. I'm keeping Shabbat. I'm putting on tefillin. I pray in a tzibur. I pray in a minyan every day. Let me know. What do you want from me? I'm a good kosher Jew. I'm a good Orthodox Jew. So most people, rov ha'adam, they kalim beinei, rov ha'adam. It's really, people take these things lightly, but it's a big deal. When he doesn't even think it's wrong, right? The people don't even think it's wrong. So one of these 5, he says under Gimel, you see it's bolded over there. Hamistakel ba'arayot maleh al da'ato she'en bekach klum. Person who looks at arayot, women who are forbidden to him, and he thinks it's not a big deal. So what's okay? You can watch, but you can touch, right? Say no, you can't watch. So you can't look at women who are arayot, who are forbidden to you. Shehu omer v'ki ba'alti o krafti etzla. It's like I'm not touching her, I'm not having relations with her. So what's wrong with watching? והוא אינו יודע שראיית העיניים עוון גדול שהיא גורמת לגופן של עריות שנאמר ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם. Saying one leads to another. Again, as Dr. Pelkovitz says all the time, he says you only desire what you see, right? Things that you don't see, you don't desire. So he's saying people who watch this arayot, one day they might stumble and actually have relations with them. And not only that, it's beferush in Torah. He says don't go after your eyes. Don't go there. So it's one of the things that people take lightly, and they don't really know it's wrong. Okay, so now this last point before we go to Steve's journal. The point says that inadvertent seeing. Right? We live in a world now with women on the streets, especially that it's nice and warm now. They don't always dress modestly. In fact, most times they don't dress modestly, and when we walk outside, we automatically want to see one or another, or few, and it's part of the mitzvot, it's part of the nature, it's part of our everyday life. No, he's saying there's a difference between a first look and a second look. The first look, when you see that woman, you can't do anything about it. So she's right there, she's in your face, right? But the second look, when you stare and and then when you already actually, not the first look, but the second look, you already can control. She's there, and now you could turn away or not turn away. And that's what the Torah says. Don't stray after your eyes. Once you saw it, okay, you saw it. It's an advertent. It happened already. What can you do? But don't look on purpose. Don't start looking and enjoying, and that's wrong already. Okay, and I think this interesting point. It works for me. Every time you look away, just reward yourself. Every time you close your eyes or you look away, give yourself a quarter or $1, whatever you can handle. Really, it's a positive reinforcement. It's really great. Or mental dollar. You don't have to give it yourself, but it's good if you put it away, like they say. Then you count the dollars at the end of the day. You count. You have $20. You say, wow, I mastered my eyes 20 times. I controlled myself. I'm gonna go out and for a nice dinner. I'm gonna treat myself for a nice dinner. It's a nice positive reinforcement. You can reward yourself just like you study hard for a test. I think it's a great tool. So now, Steve's journal. Can I get a volunteer who wants to read? Anybody?
I'll read.
Okay. I made
it a point to get to Mr. Lawrence's office early for our appointment. He's one of our most important clients. I couldn't let anything go wrong. But as soon as I walked up to the reception desk, I felt challenged. His secretary was not dressed appropriately for a business office. She smiled and said, "Mr. Lawrence is expecting you. Let me show you to his office." I was caught off guard, and I struggled to control my eyes as we walked down the long corridor. My mind was racing. How can I gain control? I had been told to focus my mind on holy thoughts, but they all flew out of my mind at that moment. "Just a second," I said, as I bent down, pretending to fix my shoelace. Staring for a split second at the floor, I recalled that the Rambam warned that big averot start as small, uncontrolled thoughts. That is a sobering thought. I kept that in mind as I continued walking. By the time we reached the end of the hall, I felt that I had mastered a rough moment. I greeted Mr. Lawrence with a big smile and a firm handshake.
Right, so he took a break for a second. He saw he's losing himself. Say, just a second, let me fix my shoelaces. And he had 5-6 seconds just to put his thoughts together. And that's really powerful. All right, guys, next week. Yeah, please.
So, for example, you go into office and you see the secretary. What are you supposed to do? Like, if she undressed, like, what are you supposed to do? You look in this, like, don't look at her. Look somewhere on the side.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I don't know.
What do you guys think?
Look her in the face.
Look her in the face, okay? Yeah, that's.
You can't just focus on the face. Like when you look at me in the face. You look at the whole upper body.
You could.
I don't know if I agree with that. You look in the face. You look in the face. There's a difference between this look and that look. You see the difference? Yeah. Okay. And I mean, she's not always looking at you. Once she's leading you to Mr. Lawrence's office, you don't have to look at her back. You could look to the side, etc. Okay, guys. Every Thursday, 12:20 to 12:40.